Hi, welcome to my little art channel. I'm Evelyn and I've been working as a freelance illustrator for pretty much a decade now. Most of that time I worked in marketing, storyboarding, and in the beginning scientific or textbook illustration, not because that's what I'm most passionate about, but because it was a safe field of work that left me some free time to paint personal projects, creating prints and small art to fulfill me creatively. The freelance projects often came with intense deadlines, so I'd abandon all other personal art for weeks and months at a time, as I was rarely in a position to turn those projects down and needed the income. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that sense of being torn in different directions, be it because of similar freelance work or because you're working a day job that's entirely unrelated to art. If you've had an eye on what's going on at large animation and game studios, the overall mood of creative professionals of all kinds, or if you yourself have felt that unease about the future, I hope this video can be a place to share some of our thoughts and experiences. The balance of freelance work has slowly shifted for me in recent years as I get to paint what I love more and more often, found wonderful private clients and buyers, worked on some amazing projects, and slowly I'm becoming a more skilled artist as well. But still, freelance projects made up a substantial amount of my work, and that's where I first made contact with AI, in my view, infesting the field. I want to make one thing clear. I don't believe that AI will replace artists working in any creative field because it is better or even because it is faster. If we ignore all the issues with the training data, the scraping of copyrighted work and what that implies for commercial use, from what I've seen, it actually creates a good bit more work for any group project when someone's trying to rely on AI at any stage, and I'll talk a bit more about that. But for now, I do believe that at least in the short term, a lot of people, or rather companies, may try to cut corners, thinking that this is the best thing ever, trying to create and sustain hype, just like we last saw with NFTs, and wanting to cut costs, of course. In this age of the enshittification of the internet, I value seeing the personal opinions and creative expression of other artists even more. I'd rather watch a video of a single artist in their tiny workspace sharing their personal thoughts about a colored pencil or new paper than a curated top 10 brand list spit out by an algorithm somewhere. It's why I've been enjoying this YouTube side project here so much, as I found wonderful, passionate artists to follow and be inspired by. In this very chatty art vlog, I am finishing up a painting, one that was a big challenge. I'd started this series of outer space photography-inspired portraits with a miniature last month, and now I'm tackling a larger format here. I was looking for something in her face, an expression or maybe my art style, and struggled to find it. I faced a lot of self-doubt and felt the limits of my painting skills clearly. But when I finally found the eyes, the mouth, the color palette, I felt elated. The elation isn't even about this painting, but about the possibilities for the next one and the one beyond that, as I'll be able to build on what I've learned and hopefully create something even closer to me. If you're an artist, I'm pretty sure you've felt those same cycles of frustration and excitement, and I think that the sense of fulfillment and challenge is what makes the art process so rewarding and addicting. I find a very pure satisfaction in learning new drawing and painting skills, attempting new paintings that I feel are just out of my reach, but then getting a step closer and closer. Time spent painting and drawing not only improves our skills, but also focuses and develops and changes our creative ideas. Ideas are just that, a seed to plant and grow and tend. Leaving that garden of ideas to instead turn it into an AI prompt hinders our own growth, creating artificial flowers that can never truly grow into something new. Freelance marketing work gave me a lot of financial security over all these years, and I don't regret doing it. It was a necessary thing and it helped me acquire a lot of skills, but now I feel like I'm at a dead end when it comes to those kinds of projects. Some of my recent jobs even included some kind of AI, not for me or from me, but somewhere up the chain. What can only charitably be called concept ideas or rough drafts would be generated and then handed to the team. It never helped, but only created more work, as suddenly there were completely unrelated color concepts, none of which fit any branding guides, or art styles that couldn't be in any way combined into a cohesive whole. Storyboard sketches to base my work on now included impossible camera jumps, sets that made no physical sense, scripts that read robotic, because guess what, that's what they were. And all that with an assumption that because these garbled references existed, my work should be finished more quickly and of course always more cheaply. The scariest was when I encountered AI references in a scientific illustration project, and those nearly slipped through and would have given false information. Sadly, especially local here in Korea and when working with smaller companies, this has been my experience over the last year, especially in the second half of 2023. And it's brought me to this point in the new year where I'm cutting strings and declining work. Of course, I'm not saying all companies do this. There are places that truly value art and having commercial rights to what they create, but still it's a reality I've encountered in my professional life. One piece of advice that I've heard from a lot of different artists and creatives in all kinds of fields is to create our own work. To dive into personal projects and create a final product. Art books, a series of prints, comics, original pieces, all truly bringing our unique creative visions to life with all their human imperfections. Inspired to tackle all these personal art projects, I also dove into my sketchbook for some art scene planning. Dracula Daily, at the point of filming this video, was about to start, and I wanted to expand my series of gothic horror paintings with more character portraits, scene illustrations, and all those combined with my favorite book quotes. While a lot of ideas will probably pop up spontaneously over the next few months, having some touchstones to orient myself felt important. I really want to create more small prints, like art booklets and scenes, combined with my normal, just simple art prints, to explore subjects I'm passionate about more deeply, and connecting with others that feel that same passion. I was especially excited that my first Dracula print got an amazing response, and I created a few hand-embellished versions to ship around the globe. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Has generative content influenced your work situation, especially if you're a freelancer or work at a company? Are there any personal creative projects you've been putting off, hesitating because you don't feel ready for them? This whole flood of shitty AI content really lit a fire under me to create what I am truly passionate about, and I'm curious if you feel similar. Outside of the fields that are currently getting flooded with false AI promises, worse and worse pay, or more and more job cuts, in my opinion and experience, humans always crave art. It goes beyond just seeing a generic image, but it's about communication and human connection, about sharing our ideas and seeing ourselves reflected in the visions of others. It's why we visit museums, get lost in books or movies, discuss ideas and explore them deeply, and find joy in our creative hobbies. I truly believe that this urge to both be creative and see the creativity of others has been with us since we painted on cave walls, since we picked up crayons as a kid, and it will be with us in the future. This spring, I've started going to local art markets again after a long break since 2020, selling my prints and stickers, talking to people, answering questions about my process, showing my sketches and live drawing, and the excitement and joy of that direct connection really gave me new hope and energy. I want to build on that, create art I'm passionate about, and share that passion with others, be it in person, via paper and canvas, or via a camera. I'll be adding more prints over the next few months thanks to the art markets forcing me to constantly restock, so if you like fantasy art or vampires, I hope you take a look. I'm sorry if this art vlog got a bit rambling, but I'd felt a lot of frustration over winter when it came to client work and some of the AI influences there. And now I'm ready to look and move forward. While it hurts to go from mostly stable freelancing to this more self-employed artist life, I have the art markets and some wonderful commissions to accompany me on the start of that scary journey. And I hope and believe that having the time to really invest into our own art will be worth it in the end, no matter which technology will be the next big thing to replace us. Thank you so much for watching, and I'd be very curious to hear your thoughts.